All right, the first one is how they put the dishes away. I'm just kidding. So I put like 5 dishes and a spoon in the dishwasher, close it, start it, and everyone that I've been in a relationship has pretty much said, okay, I don't like you anymore after discovering this. So something I'm working on, and no one has forced me to change that, but by their by their reaction, it may be something that I need to work on. Actually stacking plates so we get the most out of that one cycle. Okay, I'm just kidding. I am, but I'm not. That's micro. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about bigger things, and these bigger things ripple into the micro. So 3 things that you can never change about your partner and that you shouldn't, right? And I think these are things that we always tend to change or want to change, and it creates conflict, and it's a waste of energy. Okay, number 1, your partner's growth journey. This is a big one. We are many of us are frustrated with where our partner is on his or her growth journey, right? We want them to be more this, be more that, be more self-reflective, have more emotional intelligence, all of these things, right? And we can support, we can lead by example, we can challenge in a healthy way, and we could hold a safe space for that. But we can't do the work for them. So they're going to grow based on where they're at and what they want. You know, it's like you can't force someone to go to the gym and lose weight or gain muscle or whatever. Like, you can't force someone to change their body. Now they may do it for you. And if they do, there's going to probably be anger and resentment. I don't know if that's a good thing. But you can't do it for them, right? You can't force them to. They have to want it for themselves. And our mental, emotional growth is the same thing. Many times, we have to hit rock bottom. You know, I worked in addiction for a long time, and this is really big in addiction. We want so bad to help the people that we love to overcome their addiction, and you can't. You just have to do everything you can within your boundaries to support their recovery. But when they relapse, or if they're not being honest to themselves, there's like nothing you can do. They have to hit rock bottom for them to decide that, I'm going to change my life. And so one's growth journey, it's something that you're never going to change. All right, but you could be a catalyst, right? You could definitely be impact someone's life and encourage them to be a better version of themselves because of the relationship, or because you being in their life, right? You could definitely do that, but you can't force someone to grow. All right, second one is how they see the world. I think especially today with all the stuff that's happening out there, also politically. We all have opinions. We all have the way that we see the world, and I think a lot of that is tied to our story, And so, a lot of us try to change the way that someone sees the world based on how we see the world. And I know that's very broad, but in general, how things should be, right? And I think there's subtle control over that, and then also if you do that and it doesn't line up with the way that you see the world, you're going to think that there's something wrong with the relationship maybe, or that this isn't a good fit. Now, here's the thing. We change, we evolve. I mean, listen, the way that you see the world today, is it different than when you saw the world, say, in high school or in college? Of course it is, right? And so wherever you meet your partner at, and the way that they see the world, it's going to change. And so trying to get them to see the world through your lens is selfish, and this kind of overlaps with them being on their own journey. They're they're gonna change and grow and evolve, and their lenses are gonna change based on their story and what they're going through. And so for you to intercept that, for you to influence that, I think is not it's not healthy, but it's also it's none of your business. If that makes sense. Again, you can influence in a way where through conversation, through challenging, through creating a space where there's trust and you can talk about anything, right? But you can't influence by forcing. And you shouldn't. Okay, number 3. This is I think the most important one. You can't and you should not try to change the spirit of someone, right? Everyone has a spirit, and it's the spirit of who they are. When I think about myself, I think about that too loud dreamer that was looking out of his 4th grade science class window, just daydreaming and just oh man, daydreaming and thinking that anything was possible, and I was always high strung and running around with my head cut off. It doesn't mean that as a 47-year-old that I should be that kid that I was at, say, 9 through 12. But there's a spirit of that kid, right? There's a spirit of that person, and usually we shut that spirit down. Usually we put that person into a hope chest and lock it. But I think that connecting with that spirit of who you are, when you felt the most alive or more the most authentic, what I call your solid self, there's power in that. I think that's where your potency lives, your potential lives. And so we should never try to change the spirit of who someone is. I think when we do, and this happens in relationships where over time the controlling partner is always just trying to change the spirit of who someone is, right? So there's like the core spirit of someone, and then based on that there's the behavior. And I think a lot of times we pick on the behavior, which is life, and that happens. But when we start to fuck with someone's spirit, when we try to change the spirit of someone, you're with the wrong person then. If that's a pattern that you do constantly, then you're constantly creating a toxic environment. There's no acceptance there, right? I think you have to, at the end of the day, really accept the spirit of someone, because that's fun. That's a foundational thing. You could pick a behavior like the putting, how someone puts the dishes away, or how they leave the dirty socks on the floor and all that. That's fair, but you can never change the spirit of who someone is, and you should not.